particular that I was brought up in the right fashion, with the right values. Like he was just saying, he could never accept me lying. Even if I was, we had a lot of firsts for saying I loved to play alongside him in the terrace and on the streets. So he was very, very encouraging of the fact that I could hit the ball. Even if I brought down the neighbors' windows, he was okay with it. He used to go and actually fight with them and say, okay, I'll pay it up. You don't have to shout at my son. So he's a very good dad in terms of giving me freedom. And also he meant that if I'd made any mistakes, he would definitely tell me, he would encourage me to come and tell him the truth rather than actually say, no, I didn't do this and do that. So he was in those ways, he was very, very good, bringing me up ethically right and very disciplined as well.
That's wonderful. How nice it feels to hear your son say such wonderful words about you, I'm sure, sir.
I must thank him.
Sir, how much was your father a role model to you that you felt that you should be a role model to your son? And how did you go about it?
Good afternoon to everybody. Actually, my father... My father worked in railways and government service. Actually, he wanted to bring... I had the passion to play cricket, but he couldn't bring him because his salary was very, very meager. So he told me that I should bring my son to become a cricketer because he had that passion to bring me as a cricketer. But he was not able to do that. He told me he has the passion to play cricket. Why don't you bring him as a cricketer, or why don't you encourage him to do that? But before that, my wife was also interested in bringing him as a cricketer. She told me, why don't you take him to your ground or something or anywhere.
Asked Arbaaz a little while ago, what would be the greatest life lesson or the top 3 things that your father's taught you that you'll always remember for the rest of your life?
As I said, there are a lot of first things that we did together, so it's going to be very hard to single out any particular thing or any top 3 moments, but there are a few lessons that I learned watching my fellow cricketers and the dads of them and all that. So he used to take me to games and then sit down on his bike and motorbike and watch the games. Every time I used to get out or have a bad day or anything. It's quite common, when you're young and all that. I used to walk back to the dressing rooms where there would be dads sitting there having a go at their sons and saying, no food for you, you walk back home, and all these kind of dads. In spite of them, he would be standing there in the sun, putting half a day leave for his office and all that. He'll be there. As soon as the game's over, he'll just put me on the back of his bike and take me to a restaurant, have some food, have some discussion over a cup of coffee, or have some dosa like how we do back home. So he was pretty cool. I'm quite surprised the way his dad brought him up. He was a motherless son when he was brought up. So his dad brought him up in a fashion where it was very, very stringent at home. And actually, like you said, my granddad is also a very, very tough man. He's very, very tough. And he was the one, I think, who made him. And in turn, he's actually made me today.
That's amazing. A big round of applause for these amazing dads and lovely sons. But you're someone who stands for inner steel. You've shown inner steel on the field, off the field, everywhere you go. So tell us what your mantra is. Tell us how you do it.
Born in Indore.
Yeah, I share something very common with Salim Saab is that we are both born in Indore, so it's good.
That's where it comes from.
I feel really proud.
I'm also born in Indore.
What's my mantra? I don't really know if there's a mantra really. I think one of the things just goes back to like my father, and I think one of the things that he was a little bit insistent on was that we, both me and my brother actually, whatever we decide to do, and he never forced me to play cricket and like my brother, I loved cricket growing up, but my brother was not someone who really enjoyed playing cricket, so he never forced him to play cricket. He said, do whatever else you want, and he's become an engineer today, and he leads a completely different life. But one of the things he did insist to both of us is that whatever you decide to do, try and do it really well. It doesn't matter whether you score 0 or you get 100 or you don't get the marks that you think that you're supposed to get, but at least give it your best shot. Try, at least give it go there and work hard and believe that you've given it the best chance to actually succeed. And then if you don't succeed, that's fine, And I think that's something that he kept sort of reiterating, that look, have you tried your best? Have you prepared your best? Whether it's for an exam or whether it's for a cricket match. Just try your best. If it doesn't work out, that's fine. And that was true at home. Whether I scored a 0, whether I scored 100, it was the same atmosphere at home. It never changed. Both my parents never treated me or my brother differently, irrespective of what we'd done in our respective fields.